Last year, September, American Sugar Refinery, Belize Sugar Industries Limited, broke ground for a $22 million project that would see the expansion of the mills at Tower Hill. The direct consumption sugar expansion project was estimated to be completed in 18 months, but less than a year later, the installation of equipment and infrastructure is ahead of schedule. Those include the upgrade to the boiler room, a newly introduced sugar conditioning component, and the construction of a warehouse and a tank to store sugar and molasses, respectively.
We had the boiling house expansion, which is one part of the Phase 1 project. That included a number of equipments that will enhance the production of the direct consumption sugar and further increase the milling rate of our factory. Some of these components within the boiling house, we have a new batch vacuum pan with a capacity of 2,000 cubic feet. We also had a strike receiver, which will accommodate the material that will be discharged from this vacuum pan. In addition to that, we installed one of the most modern batch centrifugal machines to centrifuge the direct consumption sugar. It has a capacity of about 45 cubic feet of mass width per hour. Right? In addition to that, we have the syrup treatment system, which is another syrup treatment system which was added from before, right? And that is also to increase the production of direct consumption sugar. Right? That's a syrup clarifier with all its ancillary equipments, which is includes reaction tanks, buffer tanks for the storage of clarified material, syrup heaters, and we also had what we call a seed receiver.
We have put in place some sugar conditioning at this mill. I believe that's the only mill in the region to have that technology. Sugar conditioning essentially conditions the sugar by getting the sugar into a constant state. It puts conditioned air through the sugar, which enables it to maintain its quality for long periods of time. It helps with packaging, and it's basically a very high quality food-grade sugar that's being produced as a result of that.
The investment, when completed, is expected to increase production of value-added direct consumption sugar by 20,000 tons per year to 50,000 metric tons. This translates into higher price compared to raw sugar and opens market opportunities for the industry, where Caneros and the millers have a production sharing agreement.
Traditionally, this mill and many mills in the Caribbean have produced raw sugar, which was to be exported for refining purposes in the European Union. Last year, in October, the European Union sugar regime changed, and constraints on the production of beet sugar were removed, and that meant that beet sugar producers were able to produce as much sugar as they wished. This they duly did, and overnight the EU switched from becoming an import to an export market of sugar, to the tune of something like 4 million tons of sugar. As a net result of that, any preference in pricing that Caribbean, in particular ACP countries, have enjoyed in the past disappeared overnight. The future, I believe, for this industry and for many industries in the Caribbean must be in producing higher value types of sugar rather than relying on traditional raw sugar supplies. The reason these sugars are value-added, higher value products, they don't need to be refined again. They are high-quality sugars which go from here into the export market straight onto the table, packaged and onto the table. And as a result, we get a higher value for those sugars.
The 2017-2018 crop season is coming to an end, and over 1.2 million tons of sugarcane were brought to the mills. But with the increased capacity of the mill, are farmers able to meet the demands for more of the sweet stock of vegetation?
Net result for us here and for the farmers is that we will have an increased throughput of cane, starting now actually, but it's towards the end of the crop, so the real benefit will be felt next year. But even this year we've managed to produce more direct consumption sugars as a result of the project.
Duane, Moody for News 5.